Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and happy Thanksgiving if you're here in the States. Yes, today is the day. Hopefully, you guys are all excited, meeting up with your families, whether you have them or not. Maybe you're celebrating alone, maybe you're eating turkey, maybe you're eating something else. I mean, today is just a day that we all don't have to go into the office, the work site, whatever it is. We get to stuff ourselves silly and just enjoy our day off. And what a better way to spend your day off than with us on the channel. So we thank you, of course. And we have a special treat for you, something that I really requested. Really had to convince Luke, really had to twist his arm to get him to sit down and watch this one. Luke, why don't you tell the folks what we are watching today?
Well, if you haven't guessed it by our background and the title of this video, we are discussing the classic, the one and only ThanksKilling.
Nice tits, bitch.
Yeah, this is one, man. I love this movie. Like, it's so bad. Not to spoil all of our thoughts right off the rip here, but it's one of those ones where, I just had a bunch of friends over around this time of year, probably like a freshman in high school, and this was just on Netflix. This movie lived on Netflix streaming in the early days for a long time, and that's where I discovered it. It was one of those ones where it's just like, oh my god, it's a murderous turkey. We got to watch this. And boy howdy, is this a film. It's super low budget, and I still to this day think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is like when we talk about like low budget films, this is even lower than those low budget films, I feel.
Ah! Thanksgiving break! Yes! Yes! Damn, Billy, cover those puppies up. No one can see your nasty titties.
And I don't know if I'm going to surprise you or not, but I respect the hell out of it. Because this is one of those things where it's a film where someone's brain was really going for this one. No one was really going to be coming up with this film. So it's a passion project. And, looking at this, you can tell they didn't have a lot of money. I did minor research. I think it was an 11-day shoot or something like that. So
Yes, and there's a couple details I want to hit you with, but go ahead, continue.
This is a film where, like, would I say this is my cup of tea necessarily? No, not really. But where this is something where the wheels start turning and you start realizing you love horror and maybe you want to make horror movies. I could see this being a lot of horror creators' first venture. No money. I just want to go out there with the camera, create something wacky and weird. And ThanksKilling, it fits that bill.
Yes, exactly. It is very wacky, very weird, not trying to take itself seriously at all. Just so we have a little bit of backstory before we start diving into the film itself, I think it's first great to highlight the person behind this is a guy named Jordan Downey. So, he's kind of an up and comer still in the grand scheme of things with, his film career here. He has his most recent, I'd say, like major film looks to be a movie called The Headhunter, which is something that I've actually seen. It's actually pretty good. I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's basically about a guy who it goes to get revenge on a monster that killed his daughter a few years previous. It's really well shot. You will be astonished to see that this is how far this man has come from ThanksKilling. But also something that I don't know if I think I brought it up with you, Luke, at one point, because my intent for Thanksgiving was to try to get Jordan Downey on the show for an interview to talk ThanksKilling and Headhunter. And he did a Critters short film called, I believe it was Critters Bounty Hunter. Yes. Which you can find on YouTube. So, and I've watched it. It's actually really fun. It's really great. I think that he seems to have a love for that franchise, and he might be a good indie pick if you ever wanted to pick that film up.
And that's
Go
going
ahead.
to be interesting. We've talked about it. I think you've mentioned the Christmas kind of. I don't know who does it. The fan film, I guess you would say.
Oh yeah. Dave McCrae.
Yeah, that's going to be coming out, or is coming out, or has
So
come
there
out.
is already one that's come out. It's called It's Me Billy, which we do got to get you to watch. We'll probably try to fit that
Absolutely.
in next month around Christmas time. That'd be fun. And because I think it's like a half hour if I remember correctly. So it's like it's really not much of a commitment at all. Even if it's an hour, it's not bad. But he has a sequel coming out. So yeah.
Okay, and I think that's one of the things maybe we should touch on. Not, I mean, we have a lot of things coming out for the channel anyway, but
Yes.
kind of finding some of these almost fan films that have, there's actually gravitas to them, and maybe an interesting avenue to go down where we can kind of sit down and check these out and maybe do a minor review on.
Absolutely. But yeah, this is one of those things where it's like I was trying to get him on the show. No fault to him, probably a very busy guy, but he did
Yeah.
not respond to any of our reach outs. So if you are watching this, Jordan, we'd really love to talk to you about this. This is definitely one of those movies for me that just cements my early teenage years. So without further ado, why don't we dive into this, and I'll rattle off some of these other facts as we go along. So, with this film, especially being a young adolescent male, it has one of the most iconic openings to any low budget film ever. I watched this last night with my wife, who passively watched for maybe 15-20 minutes and then walked away to go do something else in the house. But yeah, it opened up with big old pair of knockers, which we cannot show, so I'm not even going to show that clip. But yeah, what a way to open your movie. What a way to just really throw you into it and say, we're not taking this very serious at all. She legitimately asked if I was watching a porno at first. And I was
Well,
like, no. This
you
is
know, and I didn't know what the actual opening scene was going to be. You had lightly mentioned something like that, but I didn't know what the actual opening scene was going to be. And for me, what I do usually, I watch this free on Vudu.
mm,
Most of the time, what I'll do is, since there are ads and everything for the free films, one will play at the very beginning, and no matter what I'm doing, I'll start the film, get through the ads, and then pause it. And that's what I did here, not knowing what the first frame of this was going to be. And I just paused it, and I rolled my eyes and left for a moment. And then, it was sitting on the TV for a good 5 minutes. Just this, what's her name? Wanda Lust, I believe is what it is.
yes, yeah, she was the opening kill of the film.
Just a close up of breasts. So it's what a way. It's like you check the box of classic horror, a topless woman running through a field or the woods, whatever it is. You instantly check that within the first 5 seconds of this film.
And I got to tell you that infamous, which is listed here on IMDb as an infamous opening scene with Wanda Lust, was shot without a permit in a public park. So,
Bold move.
yeah, very bold. Definitely got to give him some props there. As Jack Black always said, they showed some class. She respected the filmmaker. So thank you, Wanda. We appreciate you.
What are you, an idiot? You think they asked Emil if he would waste his time on nudie shots? No, they respected the filmmaker. They showed some class.
But yeah, so we move on from there. We get introduced to, as I believe he's known as Shaman Turkey.
I didn't know
Throughout
he had a
this,
name.
yeah, or just Turkey. It's just kind of how they idolize him. But he comes on the scene. They don't try to hide it or anything. They throw it right up front that this turkey puppet, which Jordan Downey built himself, is just with an axe, chops her to bits, and then we get right into our opening credits. But yeah, I kind of thought that it was kind of fun, kind of tongue in cheek. That's we open with going into the past, and we touch base on that just to kind of say like that is moments after the first Thanksgiving, apparently. And it's pretty funny. And actually, the only scene that was never not included in the film that was originally supposed to be was that there was supposed to be an expansion on that and showing a little bit more of the first Thanksgiving and how the turkey arose and all of that. But they do kind of touch on that a little later with an animation as we go on.
Yeah, which with the budget of this film, especially trying to get expansive with it like that. I feel like for a period piece, like even just for a few moments, I think would be insanely expensive for what this film was made for. So I could totally see that being kind of omitted just because it's like, how would you even achieve that? And what was this 2007?
I want to say so. Yeah, it was, I think, shot around either 2006 or 2007. I know it was between his years in college. I had it written down here somewhere. But while I look for that, it was kind of funny to see that, you did bring up how it's like, you got to tip your hat to them for actually going out there and making this. And this shows that you can make a movie that, later becomes an icon, or at least an underground culty icon that I think ThanksKilling has become. I mean, it did get a sequel with ThanksKilling 3, which we'll discuss towards the end a little bit. We didn't watch it, but we'll save it for another year. But it is one of those things where it's like this movie was only made for $3,500.
Yeah, which is wild to think about. I mean, we talk about Terrifier and that being such a small budgeted film. When you're talking about this is again under low of the low, in terms of making a film, and that's something uh, where we respect, this type of genre and getting these films made like that. And, sometimes maybe me and you should take our own advice here to think, just get the film made. No matter what, you're never going to make a perfect movie. You're always going to critique it. You're never going to have the biggest budget or the effects that you want to have. Everything's not going to turn out like you want it, but just get the film made. And that's what these guys did. And that's, this why this film lives on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we pick up with some of our characters as we kind of open with them at college. And, I'm not going to go through an entire play by play of the film here, but I just wanted to give the opening because
We want a scene by scene dissection.
it's iconic. But we got characters like Kristen, Johnny, Billy, Darren. And I believe there's one more, Allie. Yeah, that's right, Allie. So yeah, they're kind of our main cast as we go on here. And they are just your standard typical. We've got everybody in the Scooby-Doo gang here. We've got the jock. We've got kind of the loser, dopey, tubby guy. We've got the virginal kind of final girl. We've got the slutty girl, and we've got the nerd. So it's one of those things where it's like they really just give you all the tropes that you'd expect in this stuff. The dialogue in this movie is not great. I have to say, it's really, it's not fantastic, but honestly, not the worst that I've seen.
Wait. So you actually believe that there's a real killer turkey on the loose? What a loser. God.
Well, I know it sounds crazy, but yeah.
I've seen movies like Birdemic, and yeah, if I'm gonna have to pick between two bird movies, I'm going ThanksKilling all the way.
But and that's where, the dialogue in this film is not great at all. It's pretty bad, but where I think it fits, it's on brand for this film, and that's where it's, for me, maybe surprising to a lot of people to say that it's hard for me to actually hate this film because it owns what it is. That opening scene with the turkey and a hatchet, and he's talking. I mean, it owns the comedy, So the horrible dialogue, that on the nose type of dialogue that's there, I mean, it really fits for what this film is.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, I love the intro to the turkey and how he's resurrected
Yes.
with the dog that comes over and pisses on his totem.
Oh, fuck! I'm pissed!
And revives him. Like it really, it wears its heart on its sleeve the whole way. We're introduced to this kind of hermit character who apparently he says the turkey killed his wife or whatever. And, I don't know what time he did that, but, and now he's killed his dog. So this hermit kind of follows him throughout the film to get his revenge. And basically the setup is that these kids are on their way to their hometown from college, and their car breaks down. They spend the night in a forest, and that's when the turkey kind of comes across them, and then he starts stalking them on their way home. Turns into your real slasher plot pretty quickly here.
And it's a lot of fun. It really is. This is something where I know there's a sequel out there, and I don't know what the budget for that one is, but I would really love to see them take a crack at this film, like with a even bigger budget, if the market is there. Just because I feel like this has garnered some sort of following, for it to still be on Vudu and things like that, and then also have that sequel out there. I would love to see them kind of just take a bigger shot at this film, because it's so odd that, yeah, I just would
Mhm.
love to see what they could come up with next.
Yeah, and for the sequel, which I do still say I've never seen. I've always been kind of saving it for a special occasion. I am circling. I'm waiting to see this weekend if Voodoo drops the price on it a little bit. It's already pretty affordable, but
Yeah.
they have the 2-pack on Voodoo for I think it was $11 right now. But I have a sneaking suspicion that it'll be in one of their big Black Friday deals, because Thanksgiving they kind of do a big
Yeah.
blowout on that. But yeah, I definitely want to cover that at some point. I will tell you, it does have a budget of $112,000. So,
Oh,
that's quite an uptick. So I'm curious to see what it is, but it looks wild because, as they say in the ending tagline here of this film, they say that the turkey will return in space, and they
is it
kind of
really?
follow through with that. Yes, yeah. So ThanksKilling 3 looks like he's in space. So
Maybe he runs into a leprechaun? I don't know.
who knows? But yeah, I want to get into some of the meat of this movie while we're talking here. I want to talk about basically when they get to town, and he starts offing all the parents and everything like that. Um, I always think that it's hysterical when Johnny goes home and his father wants nothing to do with him because he didn't make like what quarterback or something
Yeah.
on the football team, and then he goes outside and he lies to his dad, and then his dad gets his head chopped off. Like the one-liners from Turkey are just the best. Like it feels like if Freddy Krueger, like a D-rate Freddy Krueger in a turkey body,
Well, yeah, when he says Johnny go long and then throws the dad's head at him and Johnny catches it, it's just like, and that's why this film is hard to really critique, I guess, because it owns
Mm.
what it is, and Turkey is a hell of a lot of fun.
I would
Going
love a
through it,
turkey Funko Pop, honestly.
it would be phenomenal. And it, like, really one of the turning points for this film is like when Turkey is hitchhiking and
Oh, I love that scene.
and just pulls out a gun. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, and then drives off in the car. It's just like this is a thrill ride.
Ass, gas, or grass.
Well, I'm out of gas. Guess I'll take ass.
Mm-hmm. Now that's what I call a tight ass. Oh, please, mister, please. I have a daughter.
Call her.
Okay. Yeah, sweetie, I'll be home real soon. Sweetie, please give mommy a kiss and tell her that I'm...
They love to spark in the dark old park as they go flying along.
You would never gauge it. I honestly, going into this film, I didn't know the turkey talked. I just thought it was going to be like a, crazed turkey following, bad acting, following these kids around in kind of maybe a serious tone from the turkey. But as soon as we open up and he's delivering the one-liners, that's where it's like, I can't hate this movie. It is a low budget film, yes, but it's a lot of fun. Especially as you talked about earlier, the effect for Turkey isn't all that horrible. Surprisingly, knowing what you know about this film, I'm very surprised it came out with the quality that it did. So it's like, and then him carrying a hatchet, a gun, all this other stuff. I mean, this is a funny film.
It is. It is one that I definitely recommend to people to at least see one time. Just because it's like, for me, this is kind of one of those Thanksgiving traditions. I wouldn't say I watch it every Thanksgiving, but once in a while I get an itch to throw on ThanksKilling and just laugh my ass off a little bit at some of it. Like I give it a couple years in between each viewing, but it is still one of those things that has stuck with me as I've grown older. And one of those scenes that sticks with me a lot is the whole interaction between the sheriff and Turkey.
Yellow there. Yellow. Those darn kids.
Down here.
Oh, well, hello there, little buddy. What can I do you for? Bless you.
Allergy season, you know. Fucking weather.
When he shows up with the glasses on, and then they start having coffee, and they're just talking to each other, and then he ends up killing the dad and then wearing his face, and
And
the characters
everyone's
are totally oblivious to
yeah,
it.
and that for me, like I watched this the first time last night, and then you know, before we were gonna get on here, I was like, let me just flip it on, and you know, I was kind of going through it a little bit, and just like I had a moment of watching that him wearing the sheriff's face, you know, and just like talking and like we're going through it, no one's paying attention. It's a turkey with a man's face on that doesn't even fit, and you know, it's like no one's saying anything, and I'm just like sitting there like, this is such a crazy film. Like, you know, and it's like one of those things where you actually chuckle. It isn't one of the ones where you um internally laugh. This is like one where it's like an actual laugh out loud. Like, I can't believe that they're actually going this route with it. But it's so wild that you can't hate it.
Absolutely. And you know, for what it is, there are still some really, I think, interesting for the low budget that is gore sequences. Like when they kill Billy,
Yeah.
and the turkey busts out of him, that was pretty good. Like I
Yeah.
gotta say, I give him props that it looked great. Like I was surprised with how they were able to pull that off. You know, and you, it's one of those things too where of course the low budget kind of helps with that, of course. But I mean, for something busting out, I mean, it's not alien level, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, I talk about just get the film made. It's never going to be perfect, but you show glimmers of great filmmaking in a film where you think maybe it's just a throwaway film, but you can tell that um he's a student of the game. You know, it's like he knows how to make a film. You just don't have the budget to do it. And that's a lot of people's case. So it's like
Mhm.
just getting something out there, getting the content out there, you know, for people to consume and say, you know, this guy has talent if we give him a budget. And now, you know, this dude's off making films, you know, so it's
Mhm.
like, some people may look at this and think, what a terrible film, but you really have to understand where this guy started and where he's going, you know, because this really is one of those, you know, at the starting line type of films where uh, you don't have anything. You're pulling all your resources together just to get out this, what is it, an hour and 6 minute film or whatever.
Mhm.
It's not a long film at all, you know, but it's like for people just starting out and really trying to make a film, this seems like an eternity.
Yeah, and I mean, they shot parts of it at his school. It was between years. I want to say it was his junior and senior year. They shot it on break, and you know, they really just had a lot of fun with it. This was another reason why I kind of wanted to premiere this here. Is this was shot in Granville, Ohio, so at Denison University. So it's one of those things where it's like it's an Ohio filmmaker. So it's this movie was born and raised in our home state. So it's one of those things where it's like, of course, I'm gonna try to, you know, highlight that a little bit. And you know, I think it's just a lot of fun. And you could put this film in the same category as like a Rubber, or you know, I'd say this is even a little higher quality, but the just kind of the spoof nature of it is like a Tucker and Dale versus Evil in a sense where it's like, you know, you don't take it seriously. And, you know, it has a good fun. You know, Tucker and Dale might be a little more satire than this, but, you know, they had a budget. You know, this film did not. So it's one of those things where it's like they're just working with what they have. And the product itself, like I said, is a fun time. Like if you don't take this movie serious and you just go in knowing that it's a talking turkey slaughtering people, I have a hard time finding anybody who's not going to chuckle and at least come out of that and having something positive to say about it.
Yeah, this is really a film, like you had said, where you could watch it with friends. You know, getting a group of people together just to laugh and have fun here and be intrigued for an hour. And that's another thing. This isn't a big ask, I don't think, from an audience to sit down for an hour and watch it. As soon as I flipped this on, I was like, whoa, this is not even a bad runtime at all. So even if I absolutely hate it, I'm not going to feel like I need that hour of my life back. But this is it's a fun time. Turkey is a very unique villain. Hard to hate a lot of the time, which is odd. He's mowing down all these kids, but it works. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of creative kills.
Absolutely. But alrighty, guys, I think that's going to wrap us up here for ThanksKilling. So if this is your first time hearing about this film, definitely check it out. It is free on Vudu. This could make your night tonight after you get stuffed with all your turkey, desserts, stuffing, whatever it is that you're going to be eating today. You might want to throw on ThanksKilling, especially if you got the family around. Like I said, it's got a lot of violence, little nudity. So maybe not throw it on with the little kids around, but for a couple of friends, some family, whatever, it could be a good time. Might just make your Thanksgiving.
It's funny because I just want to bring this up. As I said, I was watching this a little bit before getting on here, and I was feeding my daughter as I was watching this, and she had I'm holding her. She has the bottle in her mouth. She has no idea what she's watching, and her eyes are instantly glued to the television. And I just started laughing, and it's just like it looked like she was just so amazed by it, which I know she has no clue what's going on, but I was just like, she's a ThanksKilling fan.
I'm really happy to have introduced Turkey to your daughter so early. I hope that she becomes a lifelong fan.
There we go. It's going to be every year now.
There you go. Alrighty, guys. But other than that, you can follow us on our social medias at SplattercastPod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. As well as if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 500 subscribers, getting very close. And then next will be the 1,000. So if we can get there, that would be pretty sweet. Other than that, check out our content. We did release our episode, was it 15 of the podcast?
So. Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So another great kind of family get together, sit around the dinner table, kind of film. Definitely, we love gushing about that for almost 2 hours. It's an all-time classic film. And keep your eye out on the channel tomorrow, Black Friday. We will be sitting down with a live stream viewing of Terrifier 2, where we'll be getting to sit down and watch that, to field your questions. Just sit back with all you guys on the live stream and just enjoy that awesome movie. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a great time. I'm definitely going to save some leftovers. Try to eat as much as I can whilst watching it, and hopefully I can get through it, because seen it already, but some of those scenes, they get pretty intense.
A little gory. I wish we had some of them barf bags they were handing out.
I know, dude. I would have totally framed one and thrown it in the background.
Yep,
it seemed like it's just one of those. We're not going to get it here in Ohio, but like if we lived in LA or New York, we'd probably get some of those. But
I can't wait for that actual physical release of that Blu-ray. It's gonna be great.
I know, next month, baby. So we'll definitely be talking about Terrifier even more. But I guess until next time, I'm Dylan Newell,
and I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.
Do I smell a sequel? Beyond!